I'm here today with Autumn Klein. This is super fun because I've known Autumn for a long time from Musically / TikTok. I was really excited that she was able to come to the studio and actually be our first in-person guest.
That makes me feel special.
One of the things that I like to ask people about is how they got started on the platform. And I know we both go way back. So can you tell our listeners a little bit about like how you got started and kind of what that journey looks like?
So my story is actually I had a really bad injury that I had surgery on. And when I woke up, the doctor told me it was a worst case scenario. I had a 50% chance of returning to my job as a ballet dancer. Not ideal. I realized I was going to have 4 months of not even being able to walk and then another couple months of rehab. So I started editing old videos I had taken of myself for improvement and putting them on Musically just to edit music onto it to post to Instagram. And they started taking off and I never stopped posting.
It's just funny because I've heard several people say that they started using Musically as like an editing platform like a million years ago. And they're like, oh, I didn't even realize that was TikTok. Like just the music
Yeah.
feature of
Yeah.
being able to add music was like a big deal for people.
Right. Because it was so hard when I knew nothing about making videos.
Obviously, didn't say this in the intro, but Autumn's a professional dancer with Oklahoma City Ballet. When did you realize like, oh, okay, this social media thing can work for me outside of just my dance career?
I realized it pretty early on. I think because I was starting at that moment when Musically was trying to change from being just it's kids that lip sync to we have adult centered content as
Yeah.
well. So they actually called me when I had been doing it for 2 months and they put me in a special program to teach me how to make content.
I was gonna ask you because I know that they had been working with creators.
Yeah.
You were, like, in the creator program
Very first group of them.
when they did, like, the live streaming thing?
I also did that. Those
Okay.
are 2 separate things.
Yeah, okay, so there was a lot of these weird, like, niche programs
Yeah.
back when TikTok was Musically, and they were, like, almost trying to network and meet with creators, and that eventually has kinda turned into the creator program, but
Right.
it's looked very different over the years,
Right.
like
It was super hands-on
yeah,
personal in the
you would do,
beginning.
like, phone calls with
Yeah, they flew us out to LA.
did they
Yeah.
really?
They took us to Universal. It's
I
really
didn't
fun.
know
Yeah.
that. Wait, that's so cool.
I know. Yeah. It was really special. And I knew it was this huge opportunity. And I grew from, I think I had 6,000 followers when I started to over 360 in 3 months.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I can do something with this. I'm already making lots of money off of my live streams and
That
I
was back
enjoy
when
it.
live streaming was, like, cash
Yeah.
money.
I made slime online.
Did you really? I feel like people just did the weirdest stuff on live that, like, just
Right.
was entertaining.
Exactly. Because it was better than the other option, which was just playing 1,000 games with children.
Yeah, because it was all kids
Yes,
back
the
then.
emoji. Yes, which was the
The
whole point.
emoji game. Oh my god. The first person to put the eyes emoji
Yes.
gets a follow.
I got so burnt out on live streaming though, doing that. I try to live stream and I just can't do it.
It's interesting because I see a lot of, like, coaches and people in, like, the social media coaching space talking about live streams, and I think those of us that were into TikTok / Musically early on and doing a bunch of live streaming, it's exhausting.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you're having to, like, almost not perform, but
It is a performance
yeah.
because you have to be up, your energy has to be
Yes.
engaging. You're still yourself, but it's like when I perform, I'm still myself, but I'm dancing. I would do it for 4 to 6 hours a day.
I know people that were doing, like, 8, 10-hour live streams because they were making, like, $3,000 a
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
like, really good money.
It was really good.
But then the program shifted
Right.
once TikTok was TikTok.
Uh-huh.
So you gained, like, 300,000 followers in a really short amount of time. You started working with TikTok. Where did you go from there? Had you done any brand deals yet?
I started doing brand deals really when I had been working for 6 months on my social media. I don't take that many brand deals. I realized partway, like my second year, that I just don't enjoy doing the deals enough to take the smaller things.
Right. And that's an interesting point that I think a lot of creators realize the more often you start doing brand deals is it's really easy to get burnt out on them. If you take a lot of small ones, you're posting a lot of sponsored content, which your audience
Right.
doesn't really vibe with.
No.
And when you kind of hold out for the bigger brand deals, it can be better aligned with your audience that pays better. Then you don't have to do another one for like a month if,
Right.
you're
Exactly.
turning down the small ones.
And I also feel like things on TikTok are always changing, but I felt like when I was doing the small deals, they wouldn't do well. And so my numbers would be going up and it would kind of crash them back down again. And once I stopped, they went up and they stayed up for a long time. And so then it was easier to get multiples of the big deals.
Right, because then they're seeing the performance and seeing how it can actually impact their page. So you gained 300,000 followers, short amount of time. How did your strategy shift? Because it's really easy to hit like a plateau when you're growing. And so how did you kind of go from there?
So yes, I definitely had to do that. And I didn't know anything about social media. So in the beginning, I was kind of doing everything. even totally irrelevant
I
things.
can relate to that for sure.
And I feel like I wasted a lot of time on that. I got a lot of followers that weren't interested in what I was making. And so I would get followers and then my engagement would drop because I wasn't making the same kind of content. I decided, okay, I'm going to make these cool makeup videos I like right now. And they're going to blow up and I'm going to get 300,000 followers in a month. And then I'm not going to make that anymore. And people are going to be like, what the heck? Why is this totally
I feel
different?
like part of that's natural though. Like part of it is evolving as a creator, but the other part of it is I think the kind of like dopamine hit of like if I do this
Totally.
content, it will go viral. Like you
Yeah.
kind of start to get a vibe
Yeah.
of like I know what performs well, and then when that's not aligned with what like your authentic brand is, then
You
that's when
just
you start
you
to
get
get
burnt
burned
out.
out. Yeah.
Exactly, that happened to me. I realized I can make content that I'm not passionate about, but I know the algorithm likes for whatever reason, and every time I fall into that trap, I get burnt out really fast, and then I just stop, which is the worst thing you can do
Yeah.
because
You lose the momentum.
you lose the momentum, and it's all about, for me at least, connecting with your audience and giving them things they appreciate. Because even when they don't blow up, if I get a lot of positive engagement from people, they'll send me messages saying, "Oh, this really helped me. Oh, I really enjoyed this." That inspires me a lot more than just random numbers of people watching and commenting first.
Yes. So like impactful content over viral content.
Exactly.
Some of my favorite videos or most engaging videos have been really low performing videos. Like they
Yeah.
didn't go viral, they
Right.
didn't do great, but I connected with a lot of other creators on them. Like I saw comments from people I knew, like
Yeah.
actually had conversations
Yeah.
with. So I think that a lot of people put the pressure on virality when that's not really always the best thing for longevity.
I definitely agree with that. And for myself, finding my space as a creator, sometimes I look at people who have gotten really easy, really quick success. And
They
I
burn
have
out.
those
They
moments
like
exactly of
so.
being like, oh, I want that so badly. And I get frustrated with my own content for not doing that. But then I remember, no, 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 that's not my path. That's not why I'm doing this. I think it's really important to keep your eyes focused on your own goals. And my goal is to create impactful content that teaches people about ballet and how wonderful and beautiful it is and inspires people to either go and watch it or continue their training or find a healthy way to engage with it. And as long as I keep my focus on that, I really enjoy it and I'm really inspired.
Yeah, and I think you're the perfect person to do that too, because a lot of people in the dance space, like injuries is a big cuts off a
Yeah.
lot of your momentum,
Oh,
like
for
when you're
sure.
training. And so it's cool that you have a really unique story in the dance world because you have had so many ups and downs in your career with being injured and switching
Yeah.
companies and like
I
moving here to Oklahoma
I took a
City.
4-year break to go to college.
Yeah, and that's, like, really unheard
You're
of in
not
the
supposed to do
professional
that.
ballet
Yeah.
community, like, I was a dance major for musical theater, but then in the ballet community, you don't have to go to college to be a
Oh,
professional ballet
no.
dancer, a lot of people don't.
In fact, a lot of people kinda look down on it in the
I've
industry.
heard that.
Yeah.
It's like,
'Cause they're like,
"Why?"
"Why are you wasting your money? You're losing 4 years of time when you could be in the company." Which is terrible, but it's just that's the reality.
Yeah, I think it's good that you're able to share and, like, show people what a non-traditional ballet career looks like in a way, or just having to take breaks even, like, for
Yeah.
injuries. So when did you actually hit your first million on TikTok?
2018, I guess?
You were an early grower,
Yeah.
I felt like. Like, you had really boomed, like,
Uh-huh.
right out of the gate. Was it discouraging to not have that kind of, like, explosive growth after that? Or was that the time period when you were kinda, like, figuring out how to manage getting burnt out or feeling
I
too
think,
drained?
yeah, I had really huge growth, and then I realized that things are gonna go up and down, and that's when I learned that was kind of around the 1,000,000 mark. It started slow. I got to, like, 1.3, and then it slowed down, and I was like, "I'm not good at this anymore. I'm not doing well anymore. What's happening?"
It's like an existential crisis.
Yeah.
If I could say one thing that every creator struggles with, no matter what your size, like, you have over how many followers do you have now?
3.1
Okay,
million.
3.1 million. And you're saying that seeing numbers go up and down gives you anxiety, and you're
Yeah.
like, "What is happening?" Like,
Right, exactly. You're like, "Have I lost my touch?"
yes. Like, do people not like me anymore?
Right. Is my content bad? Am I out of ideas? Am I not creative anymore? And that is just not true. Everybody's going to experience the ups and downs. You can even look at the huge, huge creators and their numbers go down relative to what they were before. And I'm sure they feel that they're not as high as they were. And it really doesn't matter. It's the long term, just consistency and
Mhm.
honing your craft. You're going to find your audience if you're consistent with whatever you're passionate about. There will be people that want to see what you're making. And you just got to keep going with it if you want to, if that's what you want to do.
Being a creator is a lot different than a lot of careers too, because unlike playing a character on TV or something, or having an actual kind of I don't know, like the YouTubers and stuff that had like Miranda Sings, like that was a character. That was
Yeah.
not
Right.
personally her.
Right.
It's a lot harder, I think,
When
when
you're yourself.
it's yourself
Yeah.
because then you take things so much more
Yeah.
personally. Like it's you, like
Right.
it's your
They don't like
personality.
me.
Yeah. Have you had to deal with a lot of like hate comments and all that fun stuff?
Actually, I've been, I think, really lucky. I get probably the most hate when things go viral on Instagram.
Dude, people are mean on
It's like
Instagram.
little kids and then young adult to middle-aged men are so mean.
Yeah, I think you end up having to get I mean, in the dance industry, obviously thick skin, like auditioning and having the ups and
Oh
downs
my
of that.
gosh, yes.
And then social media, it's just like the same thing, but
Well,
different.
and to be honest, having gone through ballet school where I was told that I wasn't talented enough, my body didn't look right, I was stupid. "Are you drunk, sweetie? Did you get a joint?" All the time. That impacted me in a much more profound way than some stranger. I don't care what a stranger thinks. I care what my ballet master thinks. I care if they're making fun of me for my foot tickling, but you're saying I have cheese stick legs? Whatever, that's just funny.
Cheese stick legs? Someone told you that?
Oh, I got it a lot actually.
What?
Because I guess my skin is obviously very pale
Same girl. We're
and
like twins.
yes, exactly.
So you said when things go viral on Instagram, are you finding yourself now that TikTok's become kind of your main platform, how is that kind of carried over to other platforms for you, like Instagram?
TikTok's not hasn't really been my main platform for almost a year now. It's been
Yeah.
more Instagram because I just feel like my Instagram audience is really engaged with my content because I've stayed consistent there.
Mm.
I know what they like. I know that they care about what I'm making. I get really profound messages and comments that inspire me and push me forward. On TikTok, you can't really count on that because of the way the algorithm works. Followers that may love you won't necessarily see your
It's
content.
very hit and miss.
Even my husband, who engages with everything I post, when he opens his following page, he won't see a lot of my content.
Which is crazy. I think a lot of people have that anxiety of like, oh, my content's not doing as well as it used to. I mean, we've both seen the ups and
Yeah.
downs over the last 5 years on the platform.
Yeah.
But I think what people don't realize is there's so much more content being put out right now on TikTok. Like it is more competitive. I do still think the value is there, just like with Instagram Reels now, the bigger reach. These video platforms are giving better reach than typical Instagram and
Right.
YouTube.
Totally. But because of the way the Instagram algorithm works, where it shows your followers your stuff, I do feel like they feel more connected to me.
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that because Instagram does really show you the people you interact with the
Yeah.
most. And TikTok doesn't necessarily
They
do that.
show you the content they think you will like the most. So it's just a different approach. And it depends on what you want to get out of your social media.
Mhm.
So for me, it's more about that personal connection. That's why I tend to like Instagram better. And then there's something to be said about TikTok. You can reach a huge audience.
Mhm. 3 point what?
3.1 million.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so many people. And I like to think of TikTok as kinda like the top of the funnel though, because it really does bring people that love your content and your niche to find you on other
True.
platforms. Like
Yeah.
I always when I see a creator that I'm like, "Oh, this is cool." And then I'll go look at their Instagram and they're not posting anything on Instagram and I'm like, "Oh, I wanna see more of this."
Right. Yeah.
So it's like good that you can have content on another platform to show people. You said you don't post as much on TikTok anymore, right?
So I just started last week posting again. I got hacked last summer.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that. Okay,
Yeah.
tell me everything. What
So
happened? What's the tea?
So I got hacked by like a 17-year-old kid. He hacked my account. He deleted all my videos and I instantly got it back.
He deleted your videos? He didn't just private them?
No, he deleted them all
Wait, can you
except for
like
like 20.
that's like feels illegal.
It does, right? I pursued it because we actually found the person, his address, his parents' phone number, and everything, and where he goes to school. We found all of his information
What? Did you talk to his mom?
through my followers. We did.
Wait, tell me
He's done
tell
it
me
to a
what
lot.
that's like.
He's done it to a lot of people, and basically she was apologetic, but they're not going to do anything about it. And we talked to the cops, and they said they're not going to do anything because he's a minor. And
But what if he had been an adult? Is that like a crime?
yeah,
That feels like
if
a
he was an
crime.
adult, they would have pursued it, but because he was just a little bit younger, they
That's
decided to drop it.
insane. So, okay, you got your account back.
Oh no, and they tried to extort me. He tried to extort
Oh,
me.
like blackmail you?
Yeah.
Wait, that's illegal.
It's totally illegal, and I have proof of it. And I gave it to the cops, and they were like, he's a kid. We don't want to ruin his life. And they said, okay, but he's going to keep doing this as an adult, and it will ruin his life. For real, it's going to ruin his
No,
life.
yeah.
So basically, I was at the highest high ever. Everything I was posting was between 5 and 20 million views at that
That's
point.
insane.
And then after he took it, I couldn't get over 200,000 views on anything.
So how do you like move on from that? Like without being super discouraged?
I was super discouraged and I basically quit for a long time. I would post once a month maybe, and I just shifted to Instagram
Mhm.
because I was just like, I've worked this hard for this long and somebody can take it from you like that. What am I doing this for? And so I took a break and I needed it because I was so discouraged. And I just recently last week started posting again, and I kind of have to retrain the algorithm, I feel like, to understand what kind of content I make because it's
Mhm.
been so long.
Yeah.
So I am churning out like a crazy amount of stuff right now, like 4 or 5
The
videos a day just to teach it who to send my stuff to and to find what is even working on TikTok now because I have no idea.
It's changed so
I don't
much.
even use the app anymore. So it's a process. I can already see I went from having like 50,000 views a week to now 500,000. So that's in 5 days. That's a big improvement.
Yeah. It just takes time, I
It
think,
just
too,
takes
to
time. Yep.
rebuild. Like
Yep.
any type of break will always the momentum will be slow at first, but then it's funny because I do the same thing where I'm like, "Oh, my views are down." And then finally you have something that pops off and it raises the views
Yeah.
on everything else. And then you're like, "Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. 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 Get back in my
Okay."
rhythm. Yeah.
You said you lost a lot of the content that was already on your TikTok. Do you film and edit outside of TikTok or do you use within the platform?
Both. I used to do both. All of that early stuff, a lot of it was in the platform because I didn't know what I was doing, which is very sad.
I think that's what a lot of people do though. I tend to see that people start out
Oh,
using the
definitely.
tools in the platform, but long term, I think as a creator, it's important to be able to edit outside too, because you'll own your content.
And the quality of the video is just going to be higher. And that's such an important thing. And you can put it on other platforms. How much content I can go back to and repost later or repost the same platform when it becomes relevant again.
And that's great for when you're going through like a period too where you don't feel like posting, then you
Exactly.
can
Yeah.
recycle old content. And then you have
Definitely.
those video clips too that you can always edit into
Oh, I do that
new
all the time.
trends. Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Especially because I like to do talking videos,
Mhm.
but I don't want to just sit and talk. I find it more engaging to have the visuals along with it. So I'll use old videos so I don't have to reshoot.
Yeah, no, that's smart because then you're doing what is it? Work smarter, not harder. And you'll
Exactly.
have all that
Yeah.
content to repurpose.
Exactly.
It always makes me sad when people don't like own their content. Like it's like on a platform and then you have to download it with a watermark, or there's really like no good way to export from any platform without ruining the quality
Right.
of the
Exactly.
video.
There's no good way.
What app are you using when you edit?
I do most of it on my phone. I use Video Leap. It
Mm.
works fantastically. I can even do some pretty decent green screen effects on it, which is nice.
Oh, yeah, because you do a lot of green screen
I
stuff.
do a lot.
So I think that's cool that you went from really knowing nothing about social media when you started this to now you're like doing these cool edits and effects, and it's stuff that you've basically learned
Oh
through
yeah,
experience.
just through trial and error.
I think people get really overwhelmed with getting started on social media because they see people like Autumn who has over 3 million followers and like, "Oh, I could never do that." But they don't realize 5 years ago
I
you
couldn't do it either.
exactly, like it just takes time and practice
Yeah.
and
Just
putting
like
yourself out there.
just like any skill, the more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it. And whatever your specific content is, the more you do it, the easier it will get to create it. I would sit for an hour or two every day just to come up with what I was gonna make. And now I just read comments, I watch videos, I listen to music, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing today. And it's automatic.
So how do you balance being a full-time ballet dancer and being a content creator? Because I think there's different types of creators out there. Like some people create content about their career and then you're kind of balancing two careers in a way. And then some people, like I'm a full-time content creator and I don't post about a specific career, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Right. So it's my ballet company. The situation there makes it a little bit hard. Like I would love to make a ton of videos about that, but we can't even take a picture backstage in the costume and post it online.
Right. And because in some career paths, you have those restrictions with your job.
Exactly. Exactly. So I realized I can't keep these worlds really together. They have to be separate. Plus, it's hard to get studio space. So very
Mm.
few of my videos are actually in the studio unless we're on break. And that's pretty much the only time I can actually film something in the studio when I'm not actually rehearsing.
So that's kind of how you got into these more creative dance videos.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of options because I have a home studio, but it's the size of this room.
And this room's not very big.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's not
So
exactly great for
I
showing off.
not gonna do a leap in here. Then
No.
you're gonna hit a cement wall.
That's so interesting though. I think when people see creators in their niche that is their career, they think it has to look a specific way and they kind of put themselves in a box and think, "Oh, well, if I'm a dancer, I need to be doing dance and videos. But sometimes you can build your career online in surrounding ways because you're talking
For
about
sure.
point shoes,
Yeah.
you're educating people, you're doing these cool effects. You're not necessarily performing.
Right, right. It's totally true. There's so many ways to be a creator for everything. And I think the biggest thing is just find something that you are interested in doing a lot of, because you're going to do a lot of it and you can explore and find that. And that's great. And that's part of the process. But I really think what's special about social media is it lets us be creative in a way that as a dancer, I don't get to be in the studio. They tell me what to do. They tell me where to stand. They tell me what my emotion is. They'll tell me how to hold my hand when I'm thinking about something. And I don't have a lot of freedom. But when I make my videos, I can make whatever story I want, whatever dance I want, whatever I want to communicate. And that's pretty cool.
That was something I actually found very empowering about social media because I also come from a dance background and performing, acting. And so much of our career is someone else telling us, like, yes, you're good enough, or no, like these things need to change.
Right.
And it's so much about having someone else judge you basically
Right.
and tell you what you're going to be doing. For me, with creating, it did give me a space where I felt like I could be myself more. And I have a job regardless of if someone thinks I'm good enough. Like, that's so
It's
empowering to,
huge.
like,
Yeah.
know that my income is based on being myself to an extent and having that platform where I can do that. But growing up, it was always like, you didn't get the part. Having to
Right.
deal with that, like, constant
You
criticism.
don't have to conform. You are online.
Yes. Yeah, and then you get to connect with so many other creators. Like, we would have never probably met, which is so
Oh, yeah.
funny because I mean, from Oklahoma
Right.
City,
In the
family up
dance
here, and the
community.
dance
Yeah.
world, and, like, who would have thought we met through Musical.ly,
I know, right?
like, 5 years ago.
At a
Oh my god.
weird meetup in a park.
That was interesting.
That was wild.
It's cool to see how the platforms have evolved, though. I think my favorite thing is seeing how creators make their content fit into their lives, like, over a long period of time, because obviously what you're making now is so different than what you were doing back then, and same for me
Totally.
too.
Totally.
Do you think with taking a longer break, has it shifted more of your focus with content creation?
Yeah, I'd say so. Really, my focus is less what can I make that TikTok is going to boost out and show people that feels like they like it, and more what can I create that is going to impact people? Because that's kind of how I work on Instagram. And I realized I can take that idea to TikTok and actually find some fulfillment there instead of just money and some pats on the back.
Yeah, I think the money thing, I used to think, "Oh, I'm just gonna have it made." Like, when I remember I couldn't even think about, like, what it would be like to have 100,000 followers on Instagram,
Right.
and now I'm like, "Oh, cool, I don't feel any different."
No.
So it's more about, like, the connections and the people.
And the bigger your account gets, the more you think that's a small number.
Okay, I'm so glad you brought that up because I have definitely struggled with that because then I have friends that are like, "Oh my god, you have 900,000 followers, you're famous." And I'm like,
Exactly.
"Not," but I'm like literally
People come up to me on the street and they recognize me, and it is so nice, but so weird that I'm like,
because you don't feel any different.
no,
I always saw people who were successful on social media and thought like, "Wow, if I just had that number of followers, things would be so much easier." But it never is. And
it
I
isn't.
actually think the bigger you get, the more pressure there is to
For sure.
perform. One thing I love to ask everyone is if you were going to go back and start over today, which you kind of had
Kind of
to.
am doing,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what would you do differently?
I would focus on making content that I liked and not look at the numbers.
Which is so hard to do because it is like a vanity metric.
I have to say though, this last like weekish has been the happiest I've ever been making content for TikTok because I'm not paying attention to it. I'm just making whatever I feel like making that I think feeds into my creator voice. It's really fun.
I think that's really the sweet spot though, is when you can find that authenticity and be able to align that and then your audience enjoys it and is
Right.
receptive to it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it just takes a little bit of time to like direct.
Right.
How do you think people figure out what their specific audience is?
You are your audience in so many ways. If you look at your content and you're like, if I didn't know myself, would I want to watch this?
I love that.
If that is how you feel about it, then it's good content for yourself.
I like to think about too, every video you post could be the first time someone sees you.
Definitely.
So that's one reason I get a little bit frustrated when people complain about their views or like are saying, "I'm shadow banned, like get me on shadow banned." But it's like, shadow banning's not real. I'm sorry, everyone. But it can be frustrating to have fluctuating content.
Yeah.
But when the first thing that people are seeing of you is you saying, my content's not doing well anymore. Like
That's
it's
not a good first impression.
it's not a good look.
Yeah.
Like it might perform well because people are like interested in what's happening, but
You have to realize that I think your post might go viral. And if it does go viral and it's not related to you or what you want to make, it's going to hurt your account. You don't want random virality because it's going to bring a lot of people onto the bus that don't care about where you're going.
I'm definitely so guilty of falling into that though, because back in 2017, 18, 19, we didn't know what we were doing.
No.
We just were like, cool, my videos are getting millions of
Yeah.
views. Like that wasn't happening on other platforms, especially to normal people. Like it was happening to big YouTubers and that was it.
Kardashians.
Yeah. There really wasn't a space with the reach and growth like TikTok has now.
Right.
So it's really been cool to see how it's evolved. And it's continuing to evolve. Do you have stories yet on TikTok?
I don't. They told us we were going to get them. One of my friends got it yesterday, so hopefully I'll get it soon. I don't know if you remember this. They had it on Musical.ly for a minute, and then they got rid of it.
Oh my gosh. I like forgot that happened.
They had it on Lively too, the live stream app.
Lively. Oh my, you're unlocking so many memories for me. I forgot Musical.ly used to have a separate live streaming app.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. Like
back in the day.
That is so long. I feel like I've lived 1,000 lives since then. Between like
100%.
COVID, losing my house, like I'm like, dude,
dramatic
who
era.
was that person? I'm like, that was so long ago. Yeah, it's definitely been cool to see this platform. And one of the reasons I wanted to start this podcast was because what I was seeing was normal people becoming content creators. And there's also not a lot of resources out there for content creators to connect with each other or to learn things.
Well, just like you were saying, there are a lot of big creators here. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I only know you and you don't live here.
Exactly. It's funny to see like where you wouldn't even expect it. I think people think, oh, you have to live in LA to be a content creator. No. There's like 15 people here in Oklahoma, just in Oklahoma, that are big creators. And it's great to be able to connect and like hear the similarities over and over though, because so many things.
We all make the same mistake.
Yes. And it makes you feel less crazy. Yes. Because you're like, oh, okay. I'm not the only one that's freaking out when my views go down.
Exactly.
We'll wrap up with one of my favorite questions. What advice do you have for someone? You kind of already said this though. Someone who is starting out brand new.
I would say have fun. Follow your passions. Don't get caught up in the numbers and block people that spam you with hate comments.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like your page is yours. You can choose to block. Or if there's certain words, like I filter specific words. Like I personally don't want anyone commenting on my body. So I like filter out words that would be specific to that. So yeah, definitely the comment filters are
very important.
Gold. And when we were on a break just now, you were saying like you don't really watch TikTok that much.
I never.
How do you decide what content to post if you're not like watching it as often?
That's a great question. I listen to music. I actually look at Instagram.
Get some ideas.
Yeah. And a lot of times what I do is I look at my comments from my own followers and that inspires me.
Ooh, that's a really good one. I have said that or heard that before in the past too, is like when people are asking you specific things, like they're giving you content ideas.
Oh, totally. I think most like half of the things I made in the last week were just because somebody asked for it.
And did they perform how you expected them to?
They performed well.
That's awesome.
Because people like it when you're engaging and you're making stuff that they're asking for.
Yeah.
And if one person wants it, probably a lot of other people will want it.
Yeah, that's so true. And I always tell people to like look at the questions people are asking about your niche in general.
Yeah.
Like just Google. Like what are people asking about point shoes?
True.
You know, there's so many things out there that you can make content about.
Oh, for sure. Like, I made a video, like I was saying yesterday, that's just about how my shoes came in too small and I've been struggling with them for the year. So I had to change point shoes.
And that's like great because that's your real life.
It's my real life.
It's not something you're having to like come up with a concept for and find somewhere to film.
And it's something I know completely everything about because it's just me.
Yeah.
Nobody else knows about
that's
it.
Like the best spot to be in. I'm super excited for you getting this like new restart. Oh my God, I'm so excited for you. So we'll have to definitely get together again because I want to see like where it goes. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Now that you're more like focused on.
Yeah. My biggest hope is that I just don't get burnt out.
Yeah. I think that's all we can hope for.
Yeah. Because the numbers, those are come and go. You can't really predict that, but
yeah, that's so true. And that's something that we all have to learn the hard way. I feel like it's, like I said, a roller coaster.
It is. Expect it to be unpredictable.
That should be like TikTok slogan.
For sure.
Don't freak out. You're fine.
If you feel comfortable, it's going to change. So
Every time
Sorry.
you feel like you're on top of the world, something
The rug is coming out.
yeah, and that's okay though. It's part of the
It's part of the journey.
experience.
It teaches you to be calm. It brings out your zen, or you have to find
You have
your
to
zen.
find it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been guilty of not finding the zen.
Me too.
so.
I realized in 2020, I had some freak out moments when things didn't do well, like ads and stuff. And I realized this is not healthy and I need to make a change. And I've been
Yeah.
happier since.
I feel like one thing that comes up a lot talking to creators is mental health and how being a content creator really does not make or break, but it can play a big part.
It can challenge you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I think almost every creator that's been on the podcast has had said something about that, which is good for people to be talking about it because
Right. It's a common experience. It's good to expect it and to prepare for that.
especially with fast growth too, because it's a whirlwind.
Yeah.
You were all of a sudden working with Musically out of nowhere.
I know.
Like
yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm glad we got to get together because I actually didn't know that that's how you started and it
Yeah.
was so like out of the gate.
It was meant to be, I guess. Just one of
Well,
those
we'll
got
see.
lucky moments.
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes people say they got lucky, but my ballet teacher used to always say that luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So
I
you
like
saw the
that.
opportunity.
Oh, well, I will take credit for something I didn't do then.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Autumn.
Thank you
You
for
guys can
having me.
follow Autumn on her socials. Tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me at Autumn S. Klein on Instagram and TikTok, and I think Autumn S. Klein Shorts on YouTube.
Ooh,
Yeah.
oh man, we didn't even get into shorts. That's a whole nother monster.
Yeah.
I haven't gone there yet.
Really? You
We'll
should.
see. No, I've seen that they do really well, but
Yeah.
it's just like a lot.
All I've been posting is shorts and very sporadically, and I have made money.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's always a good thing.
Yeah. I have some videos with millions of views.
Well,
I think
maybe
I have-
I'm gonna have to look into
I have
that.
like
Maybe we
15
need-
videos, and a couple of them have millions.
No.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well,
So
I'm
you
gonna have
should
to
do
pick
it.
your brain on that
Yeah.
later because that sounds like something I need to do.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all for this week's episode of TikTalk Radio. We'll have another guest next week, and make sure you guys tune in and leave us a review on iTunes.